Ready or not, here we come. You can't hide. Gonna find you infidels and take it slowly. It's a big heater kickoff this morning. We got to send some love out to our guests from the Conspiracy Horsemen last night, infidels. A great show all the way around. But we're back with your Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Friday Locker Room Thursday taping here at youtube.com/MROVW. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's Hacker Hamin. HackerHamin.podbean.com, infidels. YOLO. Yeah, man. Little laughs this morning as they're trying to get us red hot already, Stevie. But we missed you last night, and not to put the heat on you, but Damian Sandow was very disappointed and upset, saddened that you weren't there last night, man. He was looking forward to it. We had a good time filling in for you, but I know you're recovering from some stiff heel heat and getting bumped out, man. So I wanted you to rest and feel better, dude, because your health is the most important thing.
I'm getting more of a headache from these script rewrites I keep getting for these live reads, which we'll have later on today. Gotta really just bow down to my overlords, my sponsored overlords.
Yeah,
we'll get it out of the way. We got 4 live reads, and I think it's another example of how I couldn't function in today's wrestling business, or even in Hollywood or anywhere where I'm told, stand here, say this exact thing, say this exact thing. We're too much of improv people. I'm not on your level of improv, but it's just to take all the feeling and all the personalization out of anything. It just re-solidifies and actually cements that we are going on the right path, because everybody else is becoming dystopian robots while we stand out just because we're not kowtowing to be anybody but ourselves.
Here's this script I want you to improvise. Oh, you improvised it wrong. Now here's a rewrite on that improvisation of the script.
And can you submit the live read for approval before you make the live read?
Yeah. Can you go to the future and show us what you're going to do before you do it? No, you can go fuck yourself. How about that? And that's straight from Hacker Hamin and nobody else. But if you're an infidel who's not an artist, who thinks that you can direct them because you haven't accomplished much in your life, well, you're about to get a $5 face slap of reality, because it doesn't matter. We'll bury ourselves in the business that has already tried to bury us many times over, infidels, but it's black market creative. We're back. The hidden hand that you don't see that has always got an influence, even over those who don't want it. The true influencers behind the scene, Hacker Hamin, Stevie Cool. And I want to give a shout out to a company that is awesome, who's got a guy in position who is like, bro, you do you. I love the shows, and I know you're going to make the most out of it. That's Jason at Rode, the Rodecaster Pro that's been sent to myself, for Stevie hooking me up. Russo's got it, Billy Ray Valentine, and now Big Ray got his yesterday, and MSG should be hitting Colorado today, hopefully, man. So I know there's a bunch of people out there already who are podcasters, who are listening to us, who are interested in it. I'm going to hit Jason up today to try and see if I can get any further discount on an already incredibly priced product, probably the best piece of gear I've ever used in digital production in my 25 years, and at a price point that's worth 100 times more than what they're charging for it. So shout out to everybody at Rode and all the awesome products they're making, from microphones. You guys know their brand has been around for years and years supporting the music industry, and now you can get pro gear right at home, under $1,000, under just over $500, $600 for a Rodecaster Pro.
Ding dong.
And
I got to see if I have the script here for it. Oh no, there's no script for that. Well, yeah, I will say in all seriousness, I actually got to switch from the SM7B, and everybody. I did a Switcher Studio video. No. Let me finish.
No, me. Anytime you switch mics, it pops me.
But in all seriousness, with that, if I didn't have the SM7B already, believe it or not, the pod mic for $99. And that's what most people have said when I did the Switcher Studio kind of tutorial video. And I asked them towards the end, like, which mic do you, and 100% of the people, even with the Procaster, which is excellent for $229, they said that pod mic is very bright. So for my voice, which tends to be very deep, raspy, kind of bassy, a muddy microphone that's more neutral like this one may not fit it, but the pod mic does. And of course, I got this thing here. This is the SE Dynamite, which is a mic activator, which the Rodecaster Pro already has pretty low self noise. This can like the gain, meaning the volume on the microphone, compared to usually at 38, 39 for this one, is down to like 13 or 14, which means the self noise, well, it's just clean audio right there. And another thing, when I do the live read later, which is rehearsed, the live read later, I can record that particular thing on the Rodecaster Pro onto the micro SD card, and then edit and send it separately from the podcast feed. So you come through, the mic comes through, and
clap for that, you stupid bastard.
So we're streaming this. You're going to download the video and the audio, but you can also record right to the micro SD card as a separate audio file with multi-track. So if mine's too hot and yours is too low, you can go into an audio editor and just even it out.
Well, I think
it's a lot of great shit that you can do with it.
I think that the SmackDown crew needs to get one of these then, because their audio mix is off all the goddamn time.
Or you can use the free version of Levelator and just go with that for now. But also my wife and I are going to use this for voiceover, which you can tune the de-esser, the compressor, the limiter, all these different things that you probably hear a difference just live out of the gate right here. It also has a noise gate. But you can tweak those things according to, like, if you're going to use DaVinci Resolve, if you're going to use Adobe Audition or anything, you can have those kinds of settings right within the console. This is a dream. And I know we're kind of waxing poetic about this thing, but if you've ever tried to, like, we have a podcast. So, you know what we're trying to do? We're trying to have a radio show like the Rush Limbaughs, like the anybody else who's ever had a radio show, whether it be for music, whether it be for talk. This has everything, those big consoles, if you've ever been in the radio station, it has everything built into it.
Yeah, what they've compressed into 4 tracks, plus the USB, plus the Bluetooth and another device, along with the sampler pad to work with the software. It's unsurpassed. I've been in this game for 25 years. I've seen since the beige iMac G3s. Okay. Like that's where I started, some 96 shit. So to see all of that and to go through sound engineering to see this compressed into such a piece, legit, this is a $6,000 piece of equipment that's $600. And if you can't get your money's worth out of it within the first month, then the heat's on you, because this thing is awesome, dude.
We haven't either.
No.
Because the element of taking phone calls and theoretically having 2 different callers, because you can use Bluetooth and hardwired and running through Google Voice on your phone. We haven't done that. I haven't really maximized the power of the sound pads. And then the ultimate thing is to have all the horsemen, or have as many people live and in person, now hooking all the microphones up, and now everybody's got clean sound going through there. So,
and if you're a DJ with these sound pads, bro, to do transitions, if you had your turntables hooked up, or even 2 laptops to go back and forth, and you had you get 24 banks, and I don't even know how long each
it's
bank.
Infinite, actually, I think. And then you can do it according to shows too. So I haven't even touched that. So we do the Little Horseman, we do the Locker Room. It's 2 separate shows, so completely independent banks of each other. So if we have, rehearsed live reads that we can play on demand, we're going to beat that one to death, huh?
It's all good. Get your heat. Oh man, but it's good to see you, buddy. We missed you last night.
I didn't think Aaron would recognize I was gone.
Oh, dude, he was very saddened that you weren't there.
I'll send him a message.
Okay, great. And he needs it today. You guys, please drop some messages of love. If you were in the chat last night, 78 live here at youtube.com/RMROVW, but a great show on Freemasonry and from Aaron Haddad, aka Damian Sandow, Aaron the Idol Stevens, whatever you want to refer to him as, man. A great guest. And also partnering up with Hamin Media Group, our own Colin Wysong and his co-host April Hunter for patreon.com/The A Show, where the first 2 episodes are free already. So if you enjoyed last night, there's just more great content there, and they wanted to give value out of the gate to show everyone the high level talk they're doing and the fun they're having there. But so again, patreon.com/The A Show. But we're here. We might as well not ignore it. Last night, pretty much right after he probably got off air with us, the news broke that tragic loss of Jocephus, and that was his Mongrovian karate master on NWA, who passed last night from an undiagnosed medical issue. Several wrestlers from across promotions took to social media to pay tributes to the question mark. A great bit once again that Aaron Stevens can take anything that's given to him and get gold out of it, and then to have a supporting player manager who's doing a silent role, just grunting, and it's one of the most entertaining things in wrestling because they're playing to a reality of wrestle crap that is tongue-in-cheek, but they're playing it real. Just a brilliant performance, and I'm glad he got to do some fun stuff that way. But we're thinking about Idol Stevens. Other wrestlers have written out already. Impact star James Storm said this will hurt for a long time. The hard thing about wrestling, Jocephus was trying not to laugh at his silly stuff he would do to try and pop you during the match. He'll be missed. Little known fact, he helped me with voice and writing material for the DCC videos. NWA star Elijah Burke wrote, thinking about the talks I've shared with Jocephus, aka the question mark, over our short period of time working at NWA, I always found him to be upbeat, positive, gentle, and oddly funny. Really going to miss him and his smile. Prayers to him and his family. Drake Maverick said, saddened by the passing of Jocephus. He was a total gentleman. Thoughts are with his close friends and family. Adam Pearce, former NWA champion and current WWE GM, wrote, Godspeed, Jocephus. Joseph Hudson, rest well, sir. And Rebel also puts in her condolences. Rest in power, Jocephus. You were one of the sweetest, supportive guys, and I'll remember you this way always. So, yeah, man, a guy who is one of those dudes in the locker room that I think everybody gets along with. Fans may not know his body of work. There's plenty more people checking in. And Aaron Stevens wrote a great piece today on how he feels this morning. Right in, must have got off air pretty much and found out about it from hanging with us last night. So a roller coaster of emotions for him, I'm sure, this morning. But undisclosed medical, I'm not too worried about going into it, man. But another loss at a young age in our industry.
Yeah, I can't say anything else except rest in peace. I see that he's survived by a young son. So, that's what you got to really think about. And going forward, making sure, just like with Brody Lee, making sure the family is okay after he's gone and doing everything. Right. You can support them.
Yeah, man, for sure. And, to everybody out there hurting, just the way it goes, got to remember all those good times, man. It sounds like he popped the boys plenty and was a guy maybe like myself and others who have a hand in helping out his friends to be the best that they can be without asking for anything in return. So rest in peace, brother. Big 10 count for you, I'm sure, man. So what else we go down last night before we get to headlines, man? The Freemason talk, he gave us as much as he could. I didn't want to catch him in like any aha moments. We were just busting balls how we usually do, but kind of dispelling the mysticism and satanic Crowleyism of Freemasonry to shine the light that it's more about philanthropy and serving your community than it is anything else at the Blue Lodge anyway. Not that Aaron's the deepest on the other end of secret society through generations, but it was interesting, man. And it was actually Rob Conway's dad who got him hooked up. I should have gone in and said, is Conway a brother too? I don't know if he wanted to stooge that off or not. So I kind of laid off it, man. But we've referenced him plenty, and it was a good enough and open conversation without trying to put him in a place where he's going to have to deal with the grandmasters and all that,
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, since you're talking about the Blue Lodge, which is in Kentucky, is this an example of maybe much like with NASA with the moon landings and stuff, people say that there's compartmentalization? Though on their level, they're truly doing all the charity work and doing everything you can. And Aaron doesn't strike me as somebody that is hiding a deep, dark secret of stuff that, he doesn't talk much about the wrestling, but, he would definitely give little answers on how he was buried for no good reason, and he got himself over and was buried again. I can't see Aaron, with the way I know the guy over the years, being quiet, not quiet, but not just saying, oh, well, that's the way it is, and being able to take it. You know what I mean? He would either not associate himself with those people anymore, quietly separate himself, or we would know he was saying something, coded messages and stuff like that.
Well, I asked him flat out if Vince was a Mason, and his was no right away. But then
he must hate Masons then.
He doesn't watch the product, because it's trash. But I broke down the 33 thing for him on there. We talked a fair amount of numbers, and that was not the blow off, but you can get whatever you want numerology wise if you're looking to justify it hard enough. I forgot to bring up though that Shaq, a Prince Hall Mason, 33rd degree, is fighting on 3-3.
Yeah, I thought that'd be the first thing you would say. I mean, that's the biggest.
Yeah, that I just got away from me in the conversation.
What we tend to do, and it's something we all need to work on too, as conspiracy guys, we do our best. I think we do better than most people, is trying not to give the answer you believe within the question you're asking somebody. You see what I mean? The setup for it, you're almost trying to get him for confirmation bias. So you're trying to get you to be right about the question you're about to ask. And with that, I mean, you have to go off of what he says to some degree, but at the same time, it's a secret society. He couldn't get into the Masons without Rob Conway's dad, like basically vouching for him and being the person that, hey, this is your boy. Anything he does wrong, you're responsible for. So you really do put your reputation on the line. Now, here's an interesting conspiracy theory that I might have asked if I was there. Do you think Vince buried you because the Masons had turned him down at one point?
We put it over of like, he's like, no, if he was, wouldn't I'd probably be champ still. So,
there's the other theory right there.
Yeah. Well, I kept going down the line of a couple things, and I pulled him back across to like, oh, okay, maybe something is going on with the Firefly Funhouse imagery, with the Saturnalia stuff, with cremation of care ceremonies, and along with that. So a great episode, and we thank him for being as open as he could about a secret society. We've referenced him enough the last 3 years, and now he's there talking about being a 32nd degree keeper of the Scottish Rite. So interesting conversation, and the chat room was buzzing last night, man.
I have an interesting question. I don't know if it was answered. I'm going to go back and listen. Did anyone ask him, what do you need to do to get up to 33rd? Since he's 32nd, what do you need to do to get to that point?
No, we didn't. See, this is where we missed you, buddy, but I know you weren't feeling too well. So definitely maybe we'll have him back on here on the locker room with us, when to talk Jocephus and to talk these follow-ups and maybe wrestling in that crossover. Maybe he's in it and he doesn't even know around him. He's so close to it inside the Freemason bubble that he doesn't see that he's actually being used. But he says, he's only 1 degree away from the 33rd. But then on YouTube, there's a guy, old white guy with white hair and beard, who claims to be a 90th degree Mason. So we did go through some of the ritualistic stuff and question along those lines and the history of it all, as it ties to the Knights Templar in Oak Island, which he says is absolutely real, and that everything that on Oak Island should be respected.
Oh, so he's a coin collector.
I made that part up.
I know. I heard. I was listening in the very beginning when you brought up Oak Island. I shut it off.
Oh, well, you didn't need to hear anything else.
And my wife, he brought up Oak Island. I'm like, yeah. After that.
Oh shit, man. But we've been having a good time. Russo brand this week, Master Shoot Theater, doing the Monster Mash was a lot of fun. Getting through extra long elimination chamber weekend for another extended 2-hour show over there, man. But we're kicking it live and direct here at hackerhamin.podbean.com and Hamin Media Group on YouTube as well. Oh, do it. Come on. Group. Thanks, Tony. And thank you, Tony Khan, for more great content this week.
Better Call Saul. I think Russo's putting up, but we got to make the free episode live today. I'm going to do that after the locker room, get it all filled out. So that's another thing. Yeah, he's the gift that keeps on giving, apparently. Because my buddy Donovan Morgan said, he goes, did you watch AEW last night? What the fuck are they doing? I didn't watch it. So tell me what are they doing?
First two segments and or the first and last segment, I should say, and it was the kickoff of match to pay off. So whatever happened in between, I don't have an opinion on yet. I will, because I'll be putting it on right after this, because I got to do Light the Fuse with MSG and the Chris Silvio at 1 p.m. today, and then MSG and I have another meeting with a TV company to do a barter system deal for Stevie Ray TV for his shows to be on TV there locally. So a big day here at HMG all the way around, like every day has been, really, man. And I want to thank MSG and Big Ray for tackling the Impact Attack yesterday. I know it wasn't live, but the show's up now, and that freed me up to go sign another local client here for the local social media. And so everybody pulling their duty, and whether it's guard duty, if I got to go do something else on special ops, everybody was right on point this week, man. So I appreciate the entire staff here at HMG. Oh, Stevie. Oh, Stevie, you ready for these headlines, bud?
I guess so. I'm not going to remember them anyway.
I know that's the one part of being concussed. That's a positive. Someone who might join you in the concussion crew, and she'll remember, because when she tries to go and eat, she'll know that something's different. Asuka is reportedly lost a tooth after being kicked in the face on Raw. The hits just keep on coming for the Raw Women's Champion. On this week's episode of Raw, Asuka once again teamed up with her on again, off again rival Charlotte Flair to take on the tag team champions of Team Pretty, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Japanese.
And then during the tag team match, Asuka took a boot to the face from the Queen of Spades, and it was revealed during the Raw Talk post show on the WWE Network that she actually lost a tooth from the exchange. Insiders reporting that Asuka was indeed legitimately kicked in the face and lost a tooth as a result. She was checked on by WWE medical staff soon after the match, but it's unknown if she sustained any further injuries. The Empress of Tomorrow isn't doing a whole lot better in story either. She lost that tag match thanks to an inadvertent attack from her own partner, and that's not even close to the first time Charlotte's personal dramas got in the way of Asuka's success in recent weeks. Fans aren't too happy with the state of the Raw Women's Championship either. Since winning the title back at SummerSlam, Asuka had 2 title defenses against Lana, totaling 3 minutes and 20 seconds, one of which ended by DQ, and 2 title defenses against Zelina Vega, who the company can't mention because they fired her. In 2021, Asuka had only 1 defense against Alexa Bliss, and it ended in a no contest because Randy Orton RKO'd the challenger. She was scheduled to defend the Raw Women's title against Lacey Evans at the Elimination Chamber, but Evans got pregnant, and WWE never found a replacement for this match. So that is the state of Asuka.
I saw that, and we didn't even really get into it, but I knew, first of all, you didn't even get the camera angle was all bunched up by bodies. You didn't really see it. I know she was trying to kick her in the shoulder to make it look like she kicked her in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Then when Asuka got up and put on the sloppiest choke out hold, because she was out on her feet legitimately, I could tell by the way she was selling.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no excuse for it. There's no excuse. You're better off just breaking up the pin with the double axe. Hey, anytime someone's head's down, you don't go for something they don't see is coming. It's kind of like hitting somebody from behind. You don't hit them in legitimately in the back of the head with their back turned, or chair shots to the back of the head, or what was the one? Oh, the dive where someone has their back to you. I've heard that story. It's like, what are you doing just to make it look different? These two, both of these girls, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, if they're nice enough girls, that's whatever. They are regressing as workers. They are getting worse with each and every week. They're not improving. To some degree, is that laziness? Why did you put the belts on them? Then they're content. Then they're trying to do all this goofy shit. First of all, she kicked her in the face for real. Then Nia follows up with the shittiest leg drop ever, which is now a finish. Like, that's not the most, I can keep going on and on forever, but let's not
call it a leg. Let's call it,
she sat down on her. That's all she did. But
side of beef.
And all joking aside, these are the people, even back when I was with the company, the Heidenreichs and the other people that were the terrible workers, just keep getting pushed and hurting more people. These two are the champions, right?
Mhm.
That's how memorable it's not. I can't even remember if they're the champions. They keep pushing them, putting them on TV and putting them over when they should be. That's awesome. I like that. They should be punishing them by taking the belts off them, by limiting their TV time, by not letting them have matches, giving them a few weeks off and making them train at the performance center.
Mhm.
And if you hurt somebody, you go back for double the time. So stop hurting people, which will limit your moves very, very quickly.
If
I
it,
just can't say enough about these people.
right? This one, it wasn't the big ham hock drop. It's fucking Frankenberry hitting you with the stiff kick.
The stiff kick that you weren't looking at, that you completely trusted somebody, once again, that's not very good to begin with and is getting worse with each passing week. You know, I can't imagine if there was house shows, somebody would die.
Oh,
because now you're talking about 4 shows a week working like this.
And put the heat on the women's revolution of we have to work like the men. We have to do what they do. No, you don't. You're a feature on the show. People want sexy. They want eye candy. Leave wrestling. Like we see women's fights. We don't want, unless you're going to go get color like they're doing in UFC, you're not going to do anything real unless it's like this. And then it exposes you as a shitty worker. So if you want to do real, go fucking back and get out of the ring. Shayna Baszler. What is she drawing? You know?
Well, here's the thing too, that, you know, for anybody, because we've been accused of caring a little bit too much from other members of the brand and other people out there about this is the kind of shit that needs to be like regulated, as you would say. You got to care about this stuff. And for anybody, like, I know that I've had certain people reach out, be like, man, you can't be saying this kind of stuff, because what if you're in a locker room with these people and you'll have heat? I go, I don't get, I can have heat with people that hurt people.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I'm not the one kicking people in the face, being
I'm gonna have heat with somebody that can't work because I say they can't work and they hurt people. What are they gonna do then? Try to go in the ring and hurt me? Oh, you've proved my point wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, these get out of jail free cards because of people's paranoia because they're in the biz. Well, you shouldn't be in the biz, Briz, because you can't do it. Just because somebody let you in because you were a UFC lock and you got over it at OVW, NXT, the training center, which they call a third brand, that don't mean you're ready for this shit. That don't mean you're ready to go out there and be the best of the best. They got you gassed up and hyped up. And then when it's time to deliver, time and time again, you and fucking the big moose hurt the rest of the roster because you don't give a shit about getting better at this stuff. And you're over already.
And I know it was accidental with Asuka, but let's point out the fact that Nia Jax has been planning people with that power bomb for weeks. The girls she thinks she can do it to, but Charlotte, nice and easy, put her down. Mm-hmm. You're a fucking bully. That's what you are. You pick and choose your spots. And if you don't do it it's subconscious if you're not doing it on purpose, because Charlotte, in your mark mind, is a bigger star, so you need to take care of her.
Yeah,
I've been around these personalities to know spot pickers and people do. I was just on a Hollywood set and saw the spot pickers treating not knowing that I've been in the business for 30 years and been on TV and treating me like a piece of shit stunt guy,
right? Like
a lower level nobody. And I'm just sitting there going, I was at 7 WrestleManias. I don't have shit to prove to you. Like, you know what I mean?
Hit her, or she's taking orders from somebody to do those big, I don't give a shit, slop-tastic fucking power bombs. But then when the order doesn't come on Charlotte, it's pillow soft.
I don't believe it's that. I don't think they're putting hits out. I don't think they're putting, I think the line of things, one thing, like, make her life miserable because we want her to quit, or you put her in spots. I don't think they trust the talent enough because the talent would tweet each other about it. The talent can't keep their mouths shut. They wouldn't, if they knew about the Damian Sandow 32nd degree Mason secrets, they would be on Twitter in 5 minutes. Yeah, good point in the chat. Who said that the Society Review said they have 266 wrestlers under contract. Do you know what the death knell for WCW was? 130, 150. You have almost double what WCW had when they really started to hemorrhage money and lose the war, because they became too content. They thought they were collecting the most toys and that would be enough. And I think WWE is doing the same thing.
I was going to go to a Lana story, but we were right on it right here. So I'll hit this, take it right back to you. WWE officially announces new performance center class, including 18 signees, bro. WWE announced on Wednesday its largest class of performance center recruits to date with 18 new signees. Most of the names were included in the previous reports, which include Eli Drake, Taya Valkyrie, Parker Boudreaux, Bronson Reichsteiner, among others. WWE noticed its largest group of women to be signed since at once with 10. However, only 8 are listed. Saree is Saree is rumored to be one who has not yet reported to Orlando. She'll be saying sorry after she kicks you in the face, Steph. Bronson Reichsteiner is Rick Steiner's kid. Kira Megan Forrester, better known as Taya Valkyrie. Sean Ricker is now L.A. Knight. Yeah. And then the rest of them are indie workers from Evolve or what have you, or just people that they've signed out of the gate that will not pay off whatsoever. Whether you're the football player, you're the whoever, the wrestler, maybe from college might, but look how well that's working out for Shorty G. Pretty much out of this list of 18 that they've signed, 3 of them have any potential for money written on them. That being Eli Drake, Taya Valkyrie, and Reichsteiner, because the rest of them are unknown. They'll be in NXT for the next 3 years. Maybe one of them, 2 of them will get to the main roster in a Forgotten Sons gimmick, and they'll be right out the door AOP style. So that could be 5 out of your 18. So you just wasted 4 years of contracts on 13 performers who've never paid their dues, who don't get it and never will get over whatsoever. Why does this keep happening?
Why do you devalue talent from outside promotions by making it look like they're students coming in? Taya Valkyrie, Eli Drake. Why are they in the performance? Is that a thing for the call to justify the performance center? Are you going to try to retrain these people? Why are you giving their real names away? Stop it. You stay on point with your brand. What's their name? Do you see what I mean? Like, you're already telling us it's fake and phony, and it's not. You're already trying to trick us with deceiving us with fake names while you give the real names. What if they announce the Ultimate Warrior's coming to WWF TV, but hey, Jim Hellwight's going to come, and when he's there, make sure to see him as the Ultimate Warrior. And you're like, well, okay, right? You're automatically disconnecting from the fantasy of what we're supposed to look at as characters.
It's just unreal because, the last signings is when a couple guys I know got signed too from indies up north, but now here's 18 more, and they're supposed to jump ahead of them or whatever's going on. I don't want to mention names of bring heat down on them, but when you see another 20 people show up and you're all just doing squats together and high spot drill every day to learn to work. Like, all this is to break, especially with these name talents like a Taya or a Eli Drake, it's to break you down, to be humble, to say you will bend your will to this, instead of going, Taya Valkyrie is TV ready to show up on SmackDown, beat the shit out of Charlotte, and have some real heat right out of the gate. But no, you need to learn WWE way. What the fuck does that even mean? Sit there, shut up, take shitty creative, and not have a moment? Because that's pretty much everything that they're doing.
Yeah, learn the WWE way, because that's been working. How's that working out for you, as you would say? They're not fixing the problem. This isn't even Band-Aids on a broken leg. This is like throwing a Band-Aid on your leg that doesn't have a cut when your carotid artery is bleeding from the neck, because your creative sucks, your infrastructure, the logistics of everything you're doing, the mission statement of the company, the people running the company, everything. This is not a problem from the bottom up. This is a problem from the top to the upper middle. The bottom, the talent, has nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, the poison of the top is making the talent less talented. And you're saying, what you basically are doing is the same thing as when you hired Bischoff, when you hired Hamin. Now you have Bruce, who's hired this woman. Everybody is hiring to have a buffer so they don't get fired. So the talent is coming up because the other talent on TV is not getting over. So you better watch it because you'll get fired. And the talent's thinking, well, Bruce, you and Vince and whoever else of these 20-some writers are writing this shit. Why am I getting fired? Creative has nothing for you, but we're going to fire the talent. That's what I got. Creative. And I honestly said, why are you not firing the writers? If they can't write for me, why are you firing the wrestler?
Do you think that with these insane amounts of hires this year already during COVID time, which is so stupid, because they're not going to get any house shows in Florida to get.
They signed the bloody tampon chick. That's what Greg Mosier just said. $2.99 super chat. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. But what about what's the werewolf girl? She does this flipping stunner off the top and is stupid.
Oh, Ember Moon. I thought if you had said Dracula girl, we still aren't sure what she is, right?
And a Shotzi Blackheart who damn near kills herself every fucking week on some dumb shit who still doesn't get it. These girls aren't long for the world after WrestleMania. And but they're so in the bubble that they don't even see that. They think because they're on NXT, the third brand, they're going to be over. Nope. You're going to be Taya Valkyrie's taking your spot. You're out of here. And that's what's going to be the sad reality. And then they'll show up in AEW on the sidelines or an Impact thing for on a paper performance 5-show deal. And, kayfabe that wrestling sucks and that they work themselves right out of their own job by not doing things the right way. But they went through the system and WWE broke them and they know how to do it WWE style now, but they can never get over, unfortunately. So it's like these lies that everyone is telling themselves inside the bubble. So if anybody has heat with us in a locker room, Stevie and I are so far outside of the fucking myopic lenses that you have on that we can see and say whatever the fuck we want because you have no control over us. None. And you never will again. So you're either going to get with that program and have to swallow some harsh realities of what they've done to you through mind control and ruining wrestling, or you can keep going. I'm WWE property because look, Triple H gave me a shirt and pointed at me. Now I must be over.
I don't know if it's a designed cycle. It's a very vicious cycle. Because here we are, and you went through the era of the system that, I saw in WWE with OVW, the real way to teach guys. Because if you look at Cena, Orton, Batista, Spirit Squad, a bunch of different people that still have a legacy lasting. And dare I say, even at that point in that era, it was teetering on not having the true legacy or urban legend that past eras have had. I hate to use myself as an example. I'm just saying guys my age and older will always get booked, will always get virtual signings. There's an action figure company that wants to make BWO action figures from the ECW era. And that's very important to say. The 24-year anniversary yesterday of the BWO and ECW on the episode of Raw.
Awesome.
People still remember that. Those were moments. The match wasn't anything special. There was a promo. We're taking over. Say hello to the blue guy. There was moments created that, quite frankly, at the time, we didn't know we were creating an urban legend. We just thought we were working and fighting for our creative and financial lives in ECW, trying to make a name for ourselves. That's been reversed. It's the inverse. Like, there's no such thing now. Even if you work 10 years on the supposed indies, you're coming in and then you're getting trained the WWE way. There's no legacy that's being brought with you from there. I don't know if I'm quite explaining it right, but will these people, I think you said before, will Seth Rollins be remembered 20 years from now?
Not even a little bit.
What will you remember Seth Rollins for? And these girls, talking about Shotzi Blackheart, talking about Ember Moon and other people, are their bump cards going to be completely gone before they even turn 30? Now, most WWE people, the bumps they're taking, the Shayna Baszlers and the Nia Jax for the next 2 to 3 years. How many girls have had shortened careers? Is Kairi Sane? She's never going to be the same after wrestling that girl 2 or 3 times.
Nope.
This they're not going to be. The business is essentially going to die. And guys, you're going to be calling Terry Funk at 95 years old with 3 new hips to come back because people still remember Terry Funk. Flair's still going to be on TV. Hogan's going to come back. If Warrior was still alive, he would be on his 4th run. Goldberg's still going to come back. You can say they suck all they want, but you remember them for being great. They created moments in your childhood, in your adulthood, these things. And of course, you're not going to get the same moments. So the business is essentially going to eat itself and die. Am I off base with that?
Not too far like the left. Being in it's a convincing yourself that things aren't the reality so you can make your own reality when you know deep down in your heart that it's not, and the end game is only going to blow up in your face. But let's play it out, see how it fucking works.
Bring that picture back up of who was that?
That was Rat Salad. No, it was
no.
our own Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, bring up his. See, though, that's the face of man who has watched 5 hours of WWE a week. That's my face too.
Shout out Sonic the Hedgehog. Nate Clinton, Frank's Pickle Barrel at Society Reviews, our own MSG in the house. Cujo. Samson X is here. The Canadian Spaceman's touching down. Media M5. Timbo Slice in the house. Wallrads. Paul F. Cujo. Doughboy. What up, Doe? Double A. Andrezen. Chris Mason, our own TikTok guy. JC Red and Bernie DC. All in the house. Appreciate you guys tuning in this morning as we're 39 strong here. YouTube.com/MRO.
That needs to be the new thumbnail for the Raw SmackDown review. His picture.
That's it.
Actually, let me show you. I sent you guys. It's just a funny little thing. Let me see if I can go back and find it. Remember, I put the overlay. Here it is, right here. My wife likes to take pictures of me when I fall asleep. I must have narcolepsy, but then I made a nice little thing out of it.
You've been watching, yeah. Raw face. Well, how about all those signees, Stevie? I was going to say, and no bonuses for the boys or the office, but we're going to sign 18 people, 4 of them who have possible money on them, and the other 14 are a 3 to 4 year wasted experiment who will never get over on the main roster and will be kicked back to the indies only for whatever other promotion. Now, times 4 years, times your basic $75,000 contract, times 14.
Well, they supposedly lose 20 to 40 million a year on NXT and Performance Center.
Unbelievable, bro. Oh shit. I don't skip that one. Come back to it. Jump over to AEW, talking about training centers. Nightmare Factory trainee Brooke Havoc injured during AEW Dark taping. Cody comments. She should have paid her dues. No. Brooke Havoc, a current trainer at Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall's Nightmare Factory, sustained a torn ACL last Wednesday night while competing against legit Layla Hirsch. News originally reported by F4W. Cody Rhodes confirmed the injury today on Twitter. Impressively, Havoc actually wrestled the second half of the match with a torn ACL. Wow. And it will be shown as planned on tonight's episode of AEW Dark. Havoc wrestled her first professional match last month on Dark against Dr. Britt Baker. She also competed in the first ever Nightmare Factory showcase this year. This is my very first student, Cody tweeted before the match with Baker. I never anticipated somebody would be ready this early on, but she did the work and earned this opportunity. We wish Brooke Havoc a speedy recovery and a quick return to the ring. Let's talk honest here, bro. Got to. I mean, I feel bad for this girl blowing her ACL out. That is the shits. But is this nothing more than you pay us the $5,000 to be part of the fucking Nightmare Factory, the work you pay, and in a month you're on TV, but they got to put it over. She earned it and she was ready to go. And then in her first pro match blows her ACL out, which says to me, you are not ready. I mean, it can happen to anybody, no doubt, but you're not ready to go. They're working these students for X amount of money and giving them AEW Dark matches as the carrot and stick. And there's other names that are there right now, and along with working at other affiliate places that are being worked this way. And to be honest with you, from what we know behind the scenes, they won't admit it because they've put themselves in a new bubble, but it's ruining their lives from where they were. They were on a trajectory they saw this forbidden door open, and be careful about going on the other side of the fence because the grass ain't always greener.
I wish we could say more about that, but
Yeah.
people who know, and Russo and us have talked about it. People close to him are experiencing this paying their dues type thing when they already have other income streams that have dried up. And the weaponized hope, man. I think that's the only best way to put it. Weaponized hope. And I'm sure, listen, from a business perspective,
weaponized hope really is what it is, not weaponized, right?
No, weaponized because the people we're talking about haven't even seen the carrot to reach for yet.
Right.
That hasn't even been dangled in front of them. You come here and do 95%, move your entire family, your life here, quit your job, come over here, stack up in an apartment and start pressure washing and doing all that bullshit to get over with a company that's just affiliated with that company.
Right.
So you're like 5 degrees of separation from the actual opportunity.
Well, but let's talk and expose it a little bit hypothetically. This is all here, not hearsay. This is all just from my own twisted mind, actually. With all that going on, that means those in power have to have their little secret clique meetings on how they're going to work these people to get the money out of them. So there has to be some evil plotting that's masqueraded as you're not going to believe the opportunity you could get here. But there has to be some good brother talk of, or bad brother talk of, we fucking got them each for 4,500. All we got to do is give them a dark match and they'll fucking stay because they want to get over and they think that, is that not going on?
Yeah. I mean, there's another guy that I'm really friendly with that, came in from the other side of the country to be at the Nightmare Factory for 3 months telling me about this. And the interesting thing is, and I'll say it here, I don't care. It's the locker room, like you say. Interesting thing is these conversations happen with these people before they come into the area. Then for whatever reason, after they get here, they're completely radio silent with me. Isn't that strange?
That is strange.
Because I'm a terrible person, right? Or it's guilt. You know what? If you're gonna be told, if you're that weak-minded and you're in the bubble, that somebody tells you like you're in grade school cafeteria and not even high school, don't talk to that guy. Don't talk to those people because I'm fine right where I'm at. I'm the one making money, and every promise that is given to me is from within here that's fulfilled.
Yeah.
You keep doing that and tell me in about 6 months how it's working out for you, as Ben would say. I love that. How's that working out for you? I don't care. You don't control. We're not flexing or doing anything. We're just telling you we wake up each and every morning, concussion or no concussion. I wake up each and every morning doing the best I can to be what I can and make the money for me and my family without these people controlling it. And anytime I'm put in a situation that, and you're the same way, anytime we're put in situations where they're trying to make us dance, we just go, okay, double down on my stuff over here because I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. I'm done with that.
Right.
But if you want to do that and you want to be completely coward, gutless coward, if you want to be a coward and just like, because eventually they're going to turn on you too, and you're going to be the person. It's too fleeting. Once again, I don't know if the concussion is if I'm making sense with this, but it's
Russo's birthday video because we couldn't trust what was going to be said.
That's a whole nother story.
I paused when he said you want to hold him down and punch him.
Got to deprogram the kid.
Yeah, and that's somebody who absolutely should be. But at the end of the day, green or not, a blown ACL sucks.
Diana J. Girl's out too, right?
Yes.
Cut you off. The chat just said that she was Nightmare Family, right? She's out 6 to 12 months. So that's 2 of your students that are out for almost a year.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you have the best wrestler in the game there right now. And is she the one training those women?
Brandy?
No. Yes, yeah, she is.
Who's training them? Yeah, you cut off for a second.
Dude, why is Serena not training the women fully? From basics to right on. You know.
Well, I just said something that was completely, I thought, out of line, but it seems to make sense. Is Brandy training these girls with QT? Now QT's training these girls, training all the students.
The one dude that tagged with Cody when Cody tore his shoulder out 2 weeks ago against all the green guys, when he went up to the top and all the Nightmare family comes out and he didn't have the promo, he's there with his dick in his hand. He thanked Brandy for the training, so apparently she is getting in there and fucking showing you how it's done.
Who did that? What
I can't even remember the dude's name, African-American athletic kid. And he was tagging with Cody versus the Italian dude and somebody else who was the perfect example of a
I love that we don't even have the names. We're like, it's like this muscular guy versus the Italian dude. They're like, this is wrestling.
And he got that. He was a 3-year experiment and got fired. So it's the same fucking, everything we're saying is just constantly, oh, you want the ace, you want the king, you want the queen, you want the jack. I got them all. I got a full boat here of whatever your excuse is. Here it is. So Cody got hurt during that. They went over in a weird finish. They go up to the top. It's Arn, Dustin, Cody, all standing around him to put him over. It's his promo time. He goes, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say here. I don't have much. I'm going, what the fuck? You just went over on your 49 losses on Dark. He gets his first win on the main show and he doesn't have a promo. He thanks all of them. And he goes, and I also want to thank Brandy too for her help with training. I'm going, this is perfect, bro.
He should have just said, man, I totally forgot my promo. I wasn't even. I think this is why my friend Donovan Morgan watches it. He's a former wrestler who wrestled full time in Japan. People probably tune into wrestling now just to see how bad it is. There's no other reason.
I get messages from Charles the Hammer Evans, who I got a ton of respect for, Ox and Hammer, and we came up with Cody at OVW when it was Cody and Spears doing the singles. Ox and Hammer were in the main. Of taking on sometimes Ryback and John. God damn it, what's his last name? I lost it off the top of my head. This stuff is just ridiculous to a guy like Ox, who's a former, Hammer, who's a former military drill sergeant, and now he's got to watch this shit and watch the spot passing by. You know what I mean? It's just so frustrating for so many of us who have a skill level on 9 or 10, but 2s are getting the fucking spot. Then they get hurt during the match or expose the business on TV, but keep patting them on the back and rolling them out there, man. Elite.
How many people you think are under contract? Somebody said that AEW has as many as WWE right now. They're not contracted. I would say they're booking a ton. They got to book over 100 wrestlers in a way. You think about it.
Look at everybody who's on the sidelines alone, who's just on either side of the thing, acting like Mark fans. Everyone.
What are they paying them? Or are they coming in for the carrot, for the dangled opportunity?
80-20 get paid. And then there's other ones who are like, oh, you get to be on camera for that, and then people will know you from that. And then on Dark, they'll be like, oh, I saw him on Dynamite in there, so they're going to be into you. Like, I hear the lies in my fucking head, bro. I can feel it. I know that's what's going on. So Black Market Creative, we'll keep going and doing what we do and have my fucking hands over the business, and they can deny it all they want. And then they do.
If I want to pressure wash anything, I'll just hire Justin Frentz. I don't need to do it myself. How's that?
Oh my God, man. Let's see here. Ben, they'd have to blow through 10 guys for what they'd have to pay. Well, I'm sure they've blown 10 guys. Yeah, man. Why wouldn't, if NFL guys are getting this exorbitant amount of money for being a franchise player, I'm no longer devaluing myself to come in as a limp-in $100,000 player. I am a $750,000 mind. And that's not me trying to be egotistical. That's me seeing what they're doing. And Stevie and I can punch up your show in 20 minutes, rewrite the entire thing so it fucking makes sense. But you still want to keep hiring 16, 17 fucking $100,000 assholes who have no idea. So you spent 1.6 million when you could have spent half and gotten it all right the first fucking time. But you keep doing what you're doing. See how it works out. Lana discusses improving in the ring and her obsession with training. Lana has spoken with
Brandy.
She's working hard in private sessions. They have spoken with the Independent about her hard work to improve inside the ring and her obsession with training. Lana debuted in the ring back in 2015, and since that point, she has had a roller coaster career filled with ups and downs, and she reflected on how she's been pushing for the opportunity to work since before it actually happened. She says, I've been trying to get this opportunity way before it happened. I was training at live events or working at live events and maybe not being able to get the spot on TV. Now I've been given that opportunity. I'm trying to make the most of it and trying to run with it. I believe that luck is when opportunity meets those who are prepared. So I constantly come in early, training at live events, not seeing television, hoping that one day I would get the opportunity and that when I do, I'm as prepared as I can be. The cool thing for me is that I can take WWE Universe with me on my journey. It's really wild. My very first match in my entire life happened at WrestleMania. It happened in front of all of you. WWE wouldn't allow me to have a match before WrestleMania, so it was in front of 101,000 people. So as a rib, they will put her out in her first cold match in front of 100 grand to see if she's going to fall flat on her face. I appreciate your work ethic, dear, and wanting to stick it to them to say, I'm going to show up early to show that I can wrestle because you want to make me into what I'm not. And that's really playing the politics in the right way. And I'm sure Miro told her that's what she has to do, but it comes at the cost of her spine, concussion, and not really learning how to work for another 4 or 5 years. Has she gotten better in the last year? Yeah, but better to the point of student show good, not ready for TV to be out there doing it. And they've got her head so messed up that she should be going, no, I'm the most beautiful woman. I'm going to be a valet because there are no valets, and that's my spot. Now she's just mixed in with biceps and tits, with Team Pretty getting fucking smashed on, ready to expose the business on a botched spot because she wants to do it so well, but she's not there yet. This is the bubble and how it will mess with people's heads. And instead of her going, fuck that, I'm not taking any bumps, I'm sexy as shit, and all I got to do is put my leg vertical so guys can stare at my crotch for half a second, and that's my payday. Nobody wants to see you do a comeback, fucking Hulk up like you're gonna beat the shit out of somebody. That's never gonna be real, ever. No one was gonna believe that Miss Elizabeth is gonna fucking be a champion. And why are we trying to do that, Stevie?
They had the ability to create, her and Rusev ruined her own business with the Drago and Drago's wife gimmick, which was over. So she literally could have worn dresses and been more clothed than the other girls. And like you said, had more sex appeal than them because it's different. Everyone else is doing this whole thing. Also, I mentioned it on Raw SmackDown review. What is this formula with these girls where they, like, all of a sudden her and Naomi are best friends, and the Natty and Tamina now, and Natty, it was Natty and Lana, but it's always this, it feels like Saved by the Bell, like we're best friends now and we're this and that, and they hug, and of course every time they win and lose they can't believe they won or lost. Right. It's all these, I don't know. Do you see what I mean though? There's a woman's evolution, but then again they go back to it feels like a bunch of young girls playing house or something. I can't quite put
That's great. That's a great analogy. It just feels so phony, bro.
It's phony. And yeah, don't get pulled into the whole thing like we did the Red Badge of Courage, where you're like, I got to take bumps and be a worker and wrestle to succeed in this. But no, now it's the opposite. You got to get over. I think I said that there's a few independent guys that were there when I did the stunts. And they said, what can we do to really get over in WWE? What can we do to get noticed? What we can do? I said, you know what you can do? Get over here. You're not going to get over in wrestling by being a wrestler anymore. To truly be over, get paid, work part-time, you have to get over somewhere else. Football, baseball, basketball, Hollywood, TV, movies, anything. Podcast. You come into WWE as something else, and they're going to pay you, and you're going to have a good schedule, and they're going to treat you with respect.
That's how Bad Bunny did it. He listened, and look where he is now.
So take 25 grand and you know what to do with it, and then you can be Bad Bunny.
Canadian Spaceman Pop Me says, I thought Young Rock was supposed to be a funny show. Somebody lied. Well, welcome to the propaganda push to the Nancy Browns for the 85% for his presidential run. But this goes in conversation we had about other shows that are greenlit with shitty writing. You can talk about the Big Show's show on Netflix that was just a complete abortion, and now here we are with The Rock doing it with a push, and other shows that you've read.
What's the is it just him sitting down for an interview and he recalls something and that becomes the episode? Is that literally what it is?
But it's not even, it's like the levels of his, I haven't watched it yet, but from what it was explained to me is they not only do they not take you, like on the Wonder Years, we start with Kevin Arnold at like age 10 and we go all the way through high school, right? Then we go on that ride through 8 years. Here they go, here he is at 10, here he is at 14, here he is at 18, all in one episode.
Oh, wow. So how many episodes is there? One?
And then Rock sits there and gives a monologue as Rock Now. So it's just all time dash history of his life to pack it in, as opposed to writing a character or hero story arc the way it should be to follow it on there.
This is his project. This is his production company. And this is something he wanted to put out there. So this necessarily isn't even a moneymaker or a rating straw. It's just something that they placated him, I would assume. Like, I'll do this movie if you let me do this thing. That's usually the way it is. You exchange, like, I'll do your shitty Tooth Fairy movie or whatever it is, and you let me have this TV show.
And meanwhile, the show that's written well, Glow, gets shit canned.
Yeah.
You know, we've just got, and we've been shot down for pilot upon pilot, but it's fucking, this is the fourth show that's greenlit that's got a writing level of Raw. That's how bad it is. You know,
there's more of those shows to come. Trust me.
That's why I didn't watch Stooge. But Lana, I mean, you're now going to become grizzled, in pain for no reason at all, when you could have stayed sexy, shown the ass, and not had to take any bumps. What they did was ruin your mind to say, this is what you need to do to prove it to us, instead of you saying, no, here's where my money is, right around me this way. And now you're in the ring, and now your sexiness appeal is gone, and your wrestling appeal will never be there, because there's just too many botches and too many cells that don't look real, and that you're trying to be a wrestler because they told you that was the way to go. Should have stuck to your guns, and now you're bland on both ends, unfortunately. Paul Hamin, you might have heard of him, Stevie. He calls BS on a radio personality's ECW story. Hamin has refuted a story from radio personality Craig Carton, who claimed he was originally supposed to portray the character of Joey Styles and serve as the announcer for ECW. He says, I was once offered a job in wrestling when I worked in Philly. Carton said on the Carton and Roberts show on Wednesday, I don't even know the name of the company. It was in the mid-90s. I was going to be Joey Styles. Carton said he thought he didn't know much about ECW. He could never forget the name Joey Styles since it was a cool name. He continued, I was on WIP radio in Philly, and someone came to me in ECW and said, we'd love you to be our ringside announcer, and it's going to be the name Joey Styles. My schedule didn't allow it or something. I don't remember being against it because I wasn't making much money. I don't remember why I didn't take up the job, but I was going to be Joey Styles, and I'll never forget that because it was such a cool name. Heyman, in response, wrote that Joseph Bone Sr. went by the moniker of Joey Styles even before Heyman hired him to be ECW's announcer in 93. He says, sorry, Craig Carton Live, I'm calling bullshit on this one. Hashtag Joe Bonsignor was at Joey Styles even before I hired him in 93. In 94, we needed a replacement that summer. There are a few considerations. None of them were to be named Joey Styles. hashtag ECW. Any recollection of that, Stevie, at all? Or I mean,
there's nothing. I don't remember anything about this guy or any of that other stuff. And Joey Styles was Joey Styles because Joey Styles started out as a color commentator, not a single person thing. I think he came in he wasn't what the Joey Styles when he became the one man commentary guy or commentary booth. No, Joey Styles he was Joe Bonsignor, but he was also Joey Styles doing interviews and other things before. I'm talking about 93, 94. He was doing that. And by the way, who's this guy who's got a radio show? How did these people get radio shows? Why can't we have the Ben and Stevie show in the morning or something? Yeah. What happened here?
What happened? I say fuck too much. I buried us both. Sorry, buddy.
Give me XM. Serious? I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't remember this.
That's us getting a call on there and getting to the right person to make it happen so we can get an opportunity for a pilot episode that will then be shot down. So it'll be good.
Yeah, I never heard of this guy. He could have had some inside track on maybe being a part of the crew or not a replacement for Joey, but maybe a replacement for there's a guy called Six Pack something who was the color commentator. It was so early 90s indie TV stuff, you know what I mean? Where did you
ever hear of Craig
manager with the turban and the Grand Wizard sunglasses was the commentary? I'm just saying it was so cheesy and campy, but this guy I never heard of him before, and especially to say we have a name Joey Styles and we're looking for a guy the wrestling didn't work that way. You know, I just had Stevie Richards because I was Steve Richards because my middle name was Steve and I picked a real last name. And then they just asked me, what's your name, kid? And I thought that was my wrestling name. And that's how it goes rather than, okay, you're going to get a porn star name. You're LA Knight. You're Dolph Ziggler. Like it didn't work that way back then. For them to create a character and try to find a guy was not. Joel Gertner wasn't even until the mid 90s. Like Joel Gertner was a kid hanging out and he was helping out and doing that and got an opportunity.
Did you ever hear of Chris Carton in Philly on radio at all? Is that he and no one?
That's what makes me really mad because like they won't give me a radio show in Philly. No, I don't know this guy. He may not be in Philly because it sounded like he was in Philly and they wanted him to do that. But when I was growing up in Philly, I never heard that name on the radio.
Then I guess I was supposed to be Joey Styles too. Everybody was supposed to be Joey Styles. But there's only one Joey Styles. And,
I just talked to him a few weeks ago. He's doing very well. And he's a big home gym enthusiast too. He watches the home gym stuff I do, but he had a home gym long before that. So it's good stuff. Joey deserves to have a spot. Joey would be a commentator that could just come right in and give instant credibility to your product. And that's somebody that AEW should have pursued along with JR. Maybe have Joey Styles on Dark, JR on Dynamite, because those guys lend big fight credibility. I would go after Mauro Ranallo for AEW. I was
going to say Joey and Mauro, even though they're similar, would that work and be incredible?
You know? No, I don't think it would.
No?
Two different styles of energy and maybe a little bit too much sensory overload.
Okay.
They're both one. Here's what Mauro needs: a Daniel Cormier type. He needs a wrestler to explain that, to bring it down, explain the technical stuff, and he's the excitement.
Joey's great by himself.
Joey doesn't need anybody. It wouldn't be anybody but Joey.
Mm-hmm. I'm obviously go back to Heenan and Gorilla, but for me, Joey Styles is my money, bro. Like that's, if I had a choice to listen to anybody, I like the banter back and forth between those other two, but that's a whole different ball of wax. Joey, unmatchable in skill as on the mic as a commentator, and I think underutilized by WWE fully. I'm in the office. They got a lot out of him, but
the thing with Joey too is he'll say, like JR's got those shit remarks now as talent is doing, he'll say stuff that a fan would say when something's not bad. Joey can be that sarcastic, cynical fan and get little digs in or do whatever, or bury the heels like he used to do with me. And then be like, how's this guy, like little things like me, the clueless putz thing, but more so little things like, how's this guy even get through life? Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like the people would think he would say, but he wouldn't. In WWE, it's like, there's the point. Now drive it home 8,000 times till we're tired of hearing it. Joey in passing will create these little things that make you pay attention and kind of accelerate the storyline and also emphasize the characters.
And it's very Northeastern byline, get your shit in as a dig on somebody that other parts of the country don't have. So that was always the magic too, man. But man, it makes me want to watch that old ECW now just to watch. I'll get pissed at the matches, but I'll fucking just to hear the commentary, I'll pop.
Somebody said something real quick in here, and I want your viewpoint. Do you think Morrow is too unreliable? I mean, maybe for UFC or fights because they're once every few months, but on a weekly episodic TV show, do you think he's too unreliable with the obvious issues he needs to deal with every day?
I think he'd be very reliable if you didn't have to deal with shitbags fucking trying to trigger him.
If you support him and make a fun environment that you let him do his shit and you don't produce him.
So if he has some type of manic flare up or bipolar thing, he knows that that's the place he can go where people who trust and have his back are going to be able to pull him out of that, or that his friends there are going to see him and go, bro, you're like, maybe now's not the time that they need to see you like that, or what can I do to help you to change your mood so we can go away from the darkness, man? Because if you're there, and that's not how it is. In WWE, if you were to say that, then JBL comes over the top to fucking push it on you more and fucking test you, and then you don't know, and there's heat, and there's and then a guy who's already fragile like that, they break him for fun instead of going, this guy is like all genius. There's always madness with it. There's always some social retardation with anyone who's a great artist and performer. And that's why Morrow sticks out on one side. But if you don't have the supporting cast to help him through the tough times, or make sure there aren't tough times, and setting up a cast environment of support, I got your back, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's what, before we go on an improv show, we're all lined up in the hallway, tapping each other in the back. I got your back out there, bro. Don't worry about it. If you start to fall, I'm going to run in. I'm your safety net. How often do we say that in a wrestling locker room, in a group environment? Never.
There's that guy there who showed a weakness. That's time to destroy him so we can feel better about ourselves.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
The wrestling business.
Absolutely, bud. And not even for a guy who's threatening your spot.
That's a sickness.
And is the JBL on Mauro Ranallo, like from him getting his ass fucking handed to him by Joey, he has some kind of fucking scar on him that he had to go back and thinks he, that can't let this happen again, or even he didn't learn the first time. Now we'll get over on him. Not even the same guy. Oh, some weird stuff yesterday with Mick Foley too. Again, he had tweeted about Big Show leaving for AEW, and we'll get to that story in a minute. But his phone auto-corrected, and he tagged some politician in Scotland, I believe, and then he issues an apology for it, in a nice Foley way, and she puts it over. I was happy to get all these new eyes on my campaign in Scotland, so kind of funny. But then he puts over Mick Foley on why he thinks Big Show left WWE for AEW. He says, wishing very best to my friend Paul White on the side with AEW. I'm guessing the big fella thought he had done all there was to do in WWE. Okay, Shaq, am I here?
Slow, and then it just jumbled 10 words together. Sorry. Oh, it's me. Oh, I'm all alone. Here he comes. He's back.
He says, wishing the best to my friend. You hear me all right?
Yeah. Okay.
Paul White on his signing with AEW. I'm guessing the big fella thought he had done all there was to do in WWE, and he still had some gas left in the tank. I'm going to follow up with that story real quick, and I'll get your opinion 1 second here. Let me just find it. Of course, now it's going to freeze. There we go. Backstage news on why Big Show left WWE as soon as Wrestle Stink page stops buffering. We'll be able to read that. Possibly. Also, shout out to Ryan K. Bowman, an associate of Hamin Media Group. I saw he just took a job at Wrestle Stink. I hope everything goes well for you there, and that past discretions don't raise their ugly head again to do bad business. But congrats, dude. I know you work hard to provide a lot of communities with great news. So I wanted to shout him out for all the hard work he's done. He used to own the gorilla position. I think he sold that. Let's see here. And I'm sure this is going to reload again as I try to vamp. Oh, these fucking websites, Stevie. But Big Show left WWE because he didn't feel respected in his last appearance there, which was the Randy Orton show when they switched out Orton, where they switched out McIntyre for Orton in the final with Goldberg there, because Orton was the one that had gone up and shit on all the guys there. But it's noted pro wrestling veteran Big Show reportedly left WWE after two sides were unable to agree on financial terms for a new contract. As noted earlier today, AEW's announced that the big wig of Paul White has signed a long-term contract to wrestle and be a commentator for the new AEW Dark Elevation series that premieres soon on YouTube. Insider reports that WWE and White failed to agree on terms for a new contract last month, just after it appeared on the Raw Legends Night on January 4th. It was noted that White was very open about his unhappiness with the contract situation. It appears the departure was finalized between WWE and White last week as the show was officially moved to the alumni roster on the 19th. But yeah, he was trending all night last night. And here comes, dude, there's WCW 101. Like, are we not like, how can TK fly this plane into the mountain any faster? By signing guys like the Big Show, who obviously is freak of nature, has all the credibility in the world and has put in his time 10 times over. But off of this, to waste the money to bring, it's got to be a high price to bring him in. Not that Khan isn't a billionaire and can't afford to flush dollars all day long. But what is this really going to do for AEW, man? I just got to believe guys in the back are going, what?
Well, I will say this. There's two sides to look at it. I know Paul pretty well, haven't spoken to him in a while, but in the locker room, you see this guy, and this is what he's in great shape compared to what he was back then when I was there. You talk about a guy from day one that they came in because he was a WCW property, that they made this giant look small. They made this giant look beatable. They made this giant look vulnerable. This should have been the next Andre the Giant, but with an ability to communicate, because he's going to do great on commentary. I'm not saying they're going to get the return on the investment for the money they're paying at this point, because the perception of him being so stale and buried from WWE, the first thing you and I would do in creative is, how can we dig, all right, Big Show out of this hole that 22 years have dug him. It have been dug and put him in. He's been buried so much. He's a guy that should have been the special attraction, should have been untouchable, should have won every battle royal, should have done so many different things, yet he was so athletic and talented and could take bumps. The guy used to be able to do a moonsault in WWE. He's athletic as anything, but they used that athleticism to put other guys over and buried him. And from the last time I was around him, I don't know, people changed, but I don't think he did. He was always a really awesome guy to be around. He was always a great guy to be around, and the great guy in the locker room, and also very disarming. This is where the wrestling business, as you said before, Morrow, a disarming guy that's very friendly and is kind of, wants to give. They're going to take and they're going to bury and they're going to step on you and they're going to do everything they can. And they're not going to respect you because you're not trying to get your shit in. Big Show is so good that he felt like he didn't need to play the games, which cost him, in my viewpoint, cost him the progression in his career that he should have had. Now, Tony Khan probably signed him. He lives in Florida, so it's a drive back and forth. Who knows if he's got a car service or what they're going to do, if they're going to fly him from Tampa to Jacksonville. But we have to look at how much money we're investing in this guy. If he's offering to wrestle and commentate, he's at least trying to put the effort forward to justify somewhat of what they're paying him. Now, is he going to be a goodwill ambassador for the Jaguars? Are we going to use him on PR? Is he going to be a voice of something else without overexposing him. Are we going to finally get Shaq versus Big Show, and they're going to do it right?
Isn't that the fuck up, though? They didn't do it right.
No, they got Shaq versus Cody. They're blowing that whole thing on 3-3 rather than coming in now and stepping in and saying this match is the card's subject to change. Big Show versus Paul White now 3-3.
You do it that night. Cody's hurt. And you don't announce it like a fucking huge mark that we signed Big Show Paul White. So
that's right. Yeah.
You do it on 3-3. Cody's hurt. I can't wrestle this match, Shaq. I'm sorry, but I got a replacement for me tonight. And you're gonna face him instead. Well, it's Big Paul. And fucking out he comes. And the place, and then the internet goes boom. Like, we miss these fucking internet monster booms for a fucking little AEW Dynamite. Guess who we signed? Asshole graphic, so the fucking place can go nuts. Instead of making a true moment, a true impact. The night that fucking Big Show showed up on AEW and nobody knew it and faced Shaq because WWE couldn't pull it off because they're too fucking stupid. And like, there's the moment. Instead, nope, we don't want that moment either. Fuck that, bro. Fuck the surprise. We got to put ourselves over as, oh my God, they signed them. And so WWE can go like, what? We didn't know that. And they're hot. And it's, dude, 20% value on everything they do. I just don't understand how the brain trust does not put him in an arm bar and just start cranking on his fucking wrist and shoulder to be like, reinforce pain when bad ideas come up. That's about the only thing that's going to stop this shit.
You're right. And this is why I don't, let's explore this. This is why we're two guys that technically aren't in the business anymore. We're not wrestling. We're not doing a whole lot, but we're putting our mind towards creating for other people. And we're bringing these questions up. When you're working on the show and you're the top guys and you're also the EVPs and you're sitting in on a booking meeting, your attention and your focus is so split that you can't think about those hey, stop, wait a minute, guys, kind of questions. Like, I have a whole thing of like, here's what we need to do with them. And you're like, well, holy shit, why would we announce that this could be the Lex Luger on Nitro moment all over again? That
is the moment. And it's gone. We're not even going to be able to get on that bus to fucking see what it was. Could you believe that?
This was a once in a generation surprise.
Yep. They're giddy about putting the graphic out on Twitter. We got WWE. We got them, you guys. AEW. And they're fucking too sweeting each other. Imagine how hard their little dicks would be backstage if they're sitting there just waiting to fucking hit the music and Big Show walks out and everyone loses it. And then they get their internet fucking jerk off surprise. Like, just a complete miss, dude.
They only had to wait like a week.
A week. A week. So bad, bro. That's the stuff in this business that kills me as a creative. And why wouldn't Big Show go, hey, Tone, why don't we wait? Why don't we wait, buddy, and let me do that?
Yeah, because it's not like he's in the spotlight and there's anything that he's not re-signing. WWE wouldn't even give him a send-off or anything. He was just done. This is why you cannot have guys that are featured. Now you can, if we were wrestling, we put our people over on the first match or on AEW Dark just to fill in a spot. Mm-hmm. But the main focus of creative is to sit there and have these conversations. And if it turns out, what I've heard is you have to, and it's supposed to be such a different wrestling company and not carny and it's supposed to be an open communication type thing, equality or equity for everybody in this company. But you have to pick and choose your battles with Tony Khan and what you want to put over is a good idea or not. So you have to pick the hill you have to die on. And sometimes he doesn't.
Why can't you just say to that guy?
No. I'm saying they're playing the same stupid carny games that WWE. Don't say you're different, and then you still gotta pad the money mark and make sure you don't make him unhappy. We have to make sure some of Tony's ideas get in there because he's the one paying the bills. That has to end.
Where's the workers going, I'm going to get close to Tony and make him think that I'm his mentor and actually teach him the right way to do things? Why isn't anybody doing that? That will get you more over and closer to the point where you can build what he wants most in this world, which is a best friend, because I don't think he has any. And then you can actually craft him and help craft his mind to do things the right way. And if you're buddies with him, then you can fucking say, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Let me show you why. And then he'll go, aha, I get it. And you're like, see, bro, now. And then the next time when he has that opportunity, he'll go, you know what we should do with this one? What we didn't do with the big show when we missed that. That was a miss. But nobody wants to step up and be the guy's friend enough to fucking tell him that his ideas suck shit and it's hurting overall business on a greater capacity. And when that's done, everybody's hurt, not just the moment.
But here's the thing, deep down, Tony Khan, do you think anyone's ever told Tony Khan no? He's a billionaire's son. Do you think outside of the football players that don't give a fuck because they have a union, do you think anybody's ever told Khan no or really sat him down and told him how things are? They put him on TV to look like on whatever those Impact promos are so bad. And they're letting them do it, and they're laughing about it, I'm sure.
Tony Khan brings AEW wrestlers to help take shots at Impact Wrestling star power. AEW president and CEO Tony Khan and the announcer Shivani returned to Impact this week for their 11th paid advertisement. This time they brought Britt Baker, Rebel, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Ryan Nemeth, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy. This paid ad was filmed at Jacksonville's Jaguars at Daly's place. The promo started out with Shivani hyping up the boss, the front door. Said Broadway may be closed, but you all have a front row seat at the Tonys. The following announcement is paid for by All Elite Wrestling. He says, I'm here with the owner of AEW, Tony Khan, owner of Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Forbidden Door, Mr. Tony Khan. Valentine's Day was a week ago, and you still have the sunglasses on. What about it? Khan responded and continued to take shots at Impact, this time knocking their star power. He says, that's because I have the biggest heart in pro wrestling, said Khan. In tone, I've got such a big heart and I love doing this charity work for Impact. It's like my own personal Big Brother program. Impact is the little kid I mentor once a week. I come here for paid ads. Impact, look at the talent I brought you. This is like 4% of the AEW roster, and yet it's more star power than you're going to get in your 2 years of Impact Wrestling shows. On then Dynamite's episode, dude, in the background is Brian Cage and fucking Rebel, who they both took, and Matt Hardy from Impact. So you're shitting on Impact talent while standing with people whose names were made on Impact and whose names they still use from Impact. And then Dreamer put out a tweet that I thought was perfect about promo class 101. When you're going to cut a promo on your opponent, don't bury him because that means you're beating somebody that doesn't mean shit. So now nothing means anything. And I know Dreamer is half working there, but that's a true Dreamer lesson of fuck you, Khan. You know what I mean? Don't say you want to talk about star power. Moose is a fucking bigger draw, in my opinion, than anybody on the entire AEW roster. So is Tommy Dreamer, and Sami Callihan's a better promo.
I dare say Swinger is.
Swinger's a bigger draw too. I agree. Wrestle crap wise, absolutely, than Luchasaurus, and he can get the ribs in. So while this guy with whatever on the spectrum promo he wants to cut, backed by wrestlers who are, laughing probably behind his back about how he deals with things, and then to have Tommy Dreamer come out in one of the first Big Brother spots that I've seen of like, dude, this is not how you do. Tony, this is not how you do this spot.
Did you know how to cut a promo? Listen, I gotta just point this out. I'm watching this. First of all, Tony Khan did what any TV star or movie star thinks a bad guy pro wrestling manager is supposed to. I'm gonna wear a patterned jacket with a pair of sunglasses to show I'm the heel owner. Then, dude, Brian Cage is supposed to be a monster. He's shorter than Ricky Starks. He's as tall as Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone and the girls. One private party kid and Matt Hardy he looks like the smallest guy there.
Matt Hardy's the biggest one, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
Nobody framed that shot up. Good job who's ever producing this to think that oh yeah, this looks looks while we're on the Jacksonville Jaguars field. That's what I'd be like too. Dude, you're on a football field your dad owns. Your dad gave you all that money. You're nothing more than a money. Dude, they literally Impact has to call him a money mark. And the whole storyline is how do we get the money from the money mark, which is truth and comedy or truth and whatever.
When they did that, what's his name from Pittsburgh radio? Mark Madden did it at the one thing, and he got up
roast. Yeah, do it.
Do it. I like this one. Oh well, let's stick on Tony.
So what happens when Tony Khan buys the Impact and Al has to put him over, expecting everybody to forget that he just did this?
I don't know. And he acts like AEW Dark is over compared to Impact. Meanwhile, Impact has the best creative in all of wrestling right now and the best management too. Scott D'Amore runs circles around everybody in WWE and AEW and how he deals with heels and baby faces and getting them what they want to set up the stakes. He's the perfect integral part in a lot of those scenes in how he deals with passing off heat. These guys just put themselves over and are laughable to look at. I mean, dude, come on, bro. I mean, come on. I don't know what else I can say. Like,
I like the one with
the wrestler supposed to respect that, bro. You know, how am I supposed to get my camera?
He buys respect.
No, but you don't though. You know that's not true. You know, like you can't buy it. You can only earn it. You can only show, don't tell, and get it done. Instead, he's just tell. Khan made the announcement of a big show. Raj Giri tweeted it. Whatever. This is kind of a buried story, but
the Nerd Herd is a good name.
The Nerd Herd. I like that.
That's what somebody in that Samson X said then.
But that is definitely what it looks like. A second AEW show on TNA does not appear to be happening anytime soon. But Khan also says about AEW Dark Elevation. So that's just going to be a YouTube show. So what is that going to, you think the YouTube views are going to be enough to pay Big Show to make that happen?
Well, where are they at when WWE has 50 million subscribers and everything gets hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views?
Mm-hmm.
They make some decent money. Impact makes some decent money. AEW probably does, but not. I mean, what are they paying Sting? $1 million, $2 million a year? What are they paying? The EVPs probably got their bumps up every year, so they're probably $500,000 to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks are probably $1 million to $2 million each. Those deals are about to come up, aren't they? Aren't they all 2-3 year deals or something like that?
3-year deals for the EVPs.
So who's gonna evaluate their performance over 3 years? What do you think Brandy's getting to be a pregnant to do gender? Did Dave real bad? Yeah, let me stop right there. Did Dave really do a gender reveal on the TV show?
Oh yes.
Who's watching that? Them after it's over.
Everybody was watching. And well, you want the rib? Let's talk about we toe the SJW social line with transsexual and this pronoun bullshit and all this and what I have to identify. Then why are you gender naming your baby? Shouldn't we wait and see what the baby wants to decide its gender? It's a they be. It's not a girl. If we're gonna go with the rest of calling your child a girl, isn't that insulting to Nyla Rose? Like, shouldn't they? How could you do that to your talent?
That's concussion inducing.
The double.
That's a great point. If you're so sensitive to all that stuff, why is it not? They did a very traditional gender reveal, right? Which is supposedly offensive now.
But it's fine for them because when they want to play Leave It to Beaver 1950s morality to do all of the fucking kitschy little things that couples who want to sell their pictures to People magazine for $50,000 do, they'll do that. But when it comes to how dare you gender name or whatever, or go out of the confines of woke culture, we'll toe that line too. We'll do that. So the hypocrisy is unbearable.
Looking good, baby.
Baby versus Marco stunt if the company lasts that long.
The baby will be bigger when it comes out.
Yeah.
Than Marco stunt.
Probably. Send Marco Stunt in to get him. AEW president and CEO Tony Khan has confirmed.
What? Stop it right now. What was that? Read that again.
AEW president and CEO Tony Khan.
When did this happen?
He's both.
Oh my God. Chairman of the board at the COB at AEW.com pretty soon.
Has confirmed that Sting was recently fully cleared for physical activity. Khan spoke with Mike Johnson after paying $150 of PW Insider this week, and he was asked about concerns over Sting after he took the power bomb from Brian Cage on last week's AEW Dynamite episode. There was a lot of concern for Sting's health as he was forced to retire from WWE after suffering a neck injury at Night of Champions in a match with Seth Rollins, a great worker unto himself. Khan confirmed that Sting had been fully medically cleared to wrestle and that he's been training with TNT champion Darby Allin, because Sting needs to train. Khan also said that the Stinger, who turns 62 next month, has used the power bomb during training with his sparring partners to help get ready for his upcoming return. Khan revealed that he's the one who called for Sting to take the power bomb. He's been cleared. He's fully cleared, Khan said. He's been training with Darby and sparring partners, and he's been fully cleared to wrestle. In this training, one thing he's done to get ready with his sparring partners is a power bomb. In terms of getting ready for this, I was more than fine with it. In fact, called it. At that point, when he's taking them in training, it's time to do it in front of the live crowd. So he was completely clear to do it, and he wanted to do it, and he wanted to get out there and wrestle. Sting is going to be on Dynamite looking for payback, and all bets are off now. Sting's clear to wrestle, and he wants to wrestle, and this is how he wanted to end his wrestling career in ring, was in AEW, and come in and go out the way he always wanted to, with great matches. But instead, we're going to do something else aside from that.
True, man. Oh my God. Where do we start? Let's start with the only thing that he said that was truthful. His career will end in AEW. That's the only thing that's true. Dude, Mike, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You focus on Sting. He's the one taking the bumps. So now your miraculous concussion protocol is now expands to the nerves of the neck and paralysis and everything. So now not only that, it's paralysis protocol. You can do that. And dude, stop. And this is like the Lana. Lana's practicing a table bump before taking the real table bump. Was that is a fact or fiction? Did we talk about that before?
Of her practicing it? I mean,
Yes.
going through it? Yeah, they must have, right? They walk through everything else.
So you're practicing a move, which, by the way, just a freak thing. I got concussed on a freak thing, but at least it was live. And it was actually probably the walkthrough that got me because it was half speed. That's when you get hurt because there's too much thought and it's not live. And power bombs hurt no matter what, even if you're taking it on a crash pad or a mat, the impact and the jarring of your neck and everything is still there. That's the inverse. So basically what you said was you used up most of Sting's remaining bump card in practice.
I got him. Now, multiple bumps, multiple power bombs. I think he's ready to do it on TV, everybody. Sting, are you hurting? Yeah, I'm fucked up. Take this Adderall. You'll be fine.
By the way, why not say Sting said he's ready? The doctors cleared him. Sting said he wants to go. I said you should be careful, but Sting wants to do this. Instead, I pay everybody, so I'm going to make sure everybody knows. Basically, you now, God forbid, if Sting gets hurt or worse, are you going to say my then? Because you're sure as hell saying it, dude. Somebody's got to pull this fucking guy aside and say, stop it. You dude, just like Will Russo. Who you want to hold him down while I punch him, or you want me to hold him down? Who's holding who?
We can both switch in and out.
I hate that shit, man. And I'm somebody, it's not even only because I'm sensitive about neck injuries and stuff like that or concussions, but it just can't be said enough. What the dude, I just got it. That's like some shit where the boys in the locker room, if they're not speaking up and they're not telling Tony, hey man, This dude's putting his neck literally on the line for you in the company. Why don't you spotlight him a little bit more than yourself? This is grossly irresponsible. This is just a tenet of egomaniacal behavior that is just fucking, you can't help yourself, dude. The poison, and I'm not even blaming Tony Khan. The poison of the wrestling business either brings out the best or the worst in people. This is an example of bringing out the worst. There you go, AEW, all electric wheelchairs. I don't even have a closing point. I don't even have a closing point on this because it's like you want to grab the guy and fucking shake him. Not Sting, because he's already hurt from the multiple training sessions. But Tony Khan would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop.
I think somebody did shake him when he was a baby and gave him SIDS. That's why we got this fucking issue now, bro. Like,
when he got the SIDS, he cleared himself instantly.
Let me stoop myself off, and this might sound markish, but it's not, because I usually don't go out of my way to do this, but we do so much black market creative for many people, and we do it with asking nothing back. And I don't have any problem with that. I'm not trying to do this. It's for people that we care about. And our things get on TV, and then they get bastardized or what have you. But I've 3 or 4 times I'm about to tweet it just to be like, dude, at Tony Khan, let's have a sit down and have a meeting, you and I. And that's it. And now that'll look terrible and it'll probably get faved, but like, that's what it takes. When you say, who's going to say no, who's going to put him in the arm bar, who's going to be the big brother, there's obviously nobody there not doing it, whether it's Arn, Dustin, Jerry Lynn, Taz, like, nobody is doing it, obviously, because these types of statements keep happening over and over and over again. And he does not even see the PR damage, the locker room when the boys read this and fucking go off and are like, are you kidding me? And when Rip goes, well, the check clears, well, the check ain't gonna clear for more than a year if we keep going down this road. I want the check to clear for 5, 10 years. I want the checks to get bigger. I want the fucking numbers to get bigger. But these types of behaviors with no veterans checking him, kicking his legs out from under him, without Tommy going, no, Tony, and fucking making him feel like a piece of shit. And so that when he does it again, you hear Tommy's voice in your head going, no, Hamin, that's not how you do that finish. Then fucking, where are these guys who claim they want to protect the business but don't? And I have never sent that tweet, but there's been 4 or 5 times I've been really fucking close, bro.
I'm pretty close to, I'm not even really on Twitter anymore, but I'm close to sending a public tweet. Like, you got a 62-year-old man and he's putting his body on the line for you and your company, and you're the one taking full credit for it. Read back what you said and tell me you're not 100% wrong. But I'll be the bad guy because I'm bitter. I'm bitter because AEW won't hire me.
I don't want to. Yeah. I want to say all that, but not in public. I just want to sit down because obviously nobody is checking him, bro. He is the money guy and the most detrimental thing to AEW at the same time, much like Dixie, almost 100%, right? What, Jacksonville Dixie? Are we going down this road? Exactly. I actually just
his gimmick like there is just like Dixie, the giant. His is just like the Dixieland gimmick, and it's just a tone deaf, lack of awareness, and it's a rib, and they don't even know it.
How long till his toy drops before everybody else on the roster? I was, I'm cutting together beautiful people stuff and the Patreon stuff that they're doing for the Red Hot VIP shoots over there. Beautiful people on Patreon is identical. And I mean, you've told me a lot of stories, but now from the girls' side of how they dealt with Dixie, bro, it's even way worse. And a lot of times I'm hearing identical mindsets to what I'm reading here on the sheets from this guy.
Well, it could be a societal thing of billionaire babies. They're both second generation money that wasn't earned. And
in the end, they wanted it to all be about them. And you could say that about Vince McMahon too.
When he's not hungry anymore. So now it's just a plaything.
Right. He had an actual mission to accomplish, but he's $1 million baby. His dad gave it up to him.
Not exactly. Vince had to pay for all that stuff.
Okay.
No. It's totally his dad. No, that's I hope that part comes out in a truthful sense. No, Vince, dude, there was death threats against him and Hogan for trying to end the territories or take talent from the territories. They were legitimately, people were going to kill them. That was very old school stuff. His dad put up every roadblock, from what I understand, to keep him from buying the WWF.
Okay, I stand corrected then.
Oh, but what we're saying is when you pollute it with easy money, he is essentially now a trust fund baby in a way, because the money comes in no matter what I do, $1 billion deals. So it's very much like that. Yeah, he just got promoted. So fail upwards. That has nothing to do with his dad owning the Jaguars, by the way. I'm being sarcastic. He got promoted after this team, like 2 years from being in the championship, became the laughingstock, where the NFLPA is telling players, do not deal with Tony Khan or his dad. They are toxic. Do not, when you have the Players Association telling everybody in the league, do not go to this team that's run by the same guys that run AEW, that's telling. I would say that these people really care about us if they're treating their true $1 million properties in the Jaguars like that.
Well, Rip has the solution that Tony just needs to be quarterback next year too. I think that's the next thing. I'd like to see him go under center and run and take this team all the way to the playoffs.
Can't wait till he starts trying to save money by actually hiring football players to be wrestlers and wrestlers to be football players. And don't think that won't happen.
I wrote this play. Austin Aries, our final story today kind of pops me, bro. Austin Aries sells autographed tinfoil hats, appears without a mask at a recent fan signing. Pro wrestling veteran Austin Aries is receiving some criticism for recent comments on the COVID-19 pandemic and an autograph signing he had in New York this past week. And Aries, who made headlines for COVID-related controversies in the past, appeared at the Wrestling Universe store in Queens this past Sunday. Promoter Jerry Sorrentino noted on Facebook before signing that Aries was encouraging fans to drop their masks for photos and that Aries would not be wearing a mask of his own. A message from Austin Aries: if you're coming to the Wrestling Universe, he will not be wearing a mask for photos, and he urges you to drop your mask for the photo op and take it off. Come down and say hello from 3 to 5 p.m. Aries appears for the signing on Sunday and ended up selling autographed tinfoil hats to fans who came to see him. That's fucking great, dude, because that's worker 101. $3 worth of tinfoil. How many hats can you make? 15 of them. Sell them at $10 a pop. You just flip $3 of tinfoil into $150. I love it.
I want to back up real quick. There was a person in the chat room who's saying that, like, he knows the real story about how Vince bought the company from his dad, and I must be listening to the official version, although I was with the company for 10 years and know the backstory. So that's okay.
What do you know? That's over documentary, Shug, not under documentary.
I never watched either documentary. How's that?
So
Austin Aries, to go back to the important part of this. So the Austin Aries thing, basically, in New York, you're not going to be wearing a mask. You don't wear a mask in the picture with them. And he's selling autographed tinfoil hats, which is awesome. Love it.
I love it too, man. Here's his statement real quick to finish up as I try and get my camera readjusted. Sorry. Austin Aries says the new Austin Aries autographed tinfoil hats were a hit today at my signing in New York. He wrote on Instagram, I was pleasantly surprised by conversations I had this weekend on the current state of affairs. I spoke with many who strongly dislike and don't agree with what's going on with COVIDs. And seeing the agenda for what it is, plenty of relief when they could lower their face diaper while visiting and taking pictures. Maybe there's hope for humanity after all. So let's pick a rabbit hole to jump down. Have you heard of adrenochrome? HARP, maybe? End quote. And I like that he called it COVIDs, because people who don't know is that Fauci was in on the AIDS crisis in the 80s and was a developer of there as well. And now he has also just received $1 million prize from Israel, cash prize in Israel, also now making lists of those who aren't vaccinated to be intimidated by their own police force. And Joe Biden also giving $200 million to the Wuhan labs for further experimentation so we can get COVID 2021 when they release that as well. A lot of people might have issue with Aries. Backstage, we've heard this. The shows I've worked with him, he's been nothing but great. And this type of woke talk where you're talking to fans about adrenochrome and HARP while they're trying to brush it under the fucking carpet, and Tom Hanks comes back day one of Biden's fucking shit after fleeing for Greece for pedophile fears. This is somebody who's actually a little bit more with the program and not afraid to step out and make some fucking waves. So I got to put him over, man. I
totally agree with that. Well, unfortunately, though, obviously the narrative is going to be different for this because, they'll say whatever. And of course, wrestling fans will put it in some sort of wrestling way that doesn't mean anything when the truth is right there.
Right.
If that were the case, Florida would have tens of millions of people dead right now, and they seem to be thriving.
Right.
And that's why the rest of the New York and Californias of the world want to, Washington, D.C., of course,
how about
want to just destroy Florida. What's that?
The preacher you sent the other day.
Oh, yeah, the 4 minutes of just talking about how, and it wasn't so much of a religious viewpoint, but it's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They've literally said, and it's not been on the news because obviously they want masks forever. And now Fauci says, I don't know, we put this in the chat as well. Fauci said, and this was really weird, if you get the vaccine, you're not going to be able to do a lot of things because you're carrying the virus. Did you remember seeing that? If you have the vaccine,
that step up, but yeah, I mean,
if you take the vaccine, there's many things you cannot do. Is that just a Freudian slip? Did he mean you can do it, but he said you cannot do it?
He Idle last night when we were talking about it, because I said mask that he put over mask till 2022, and Idle goes, Sheik, what if they're setting it up to say all that, and then in 6 months we can not have masks, so they make themselves baby faces out of that by trying to extend it in people's mind, but then they look like they're the heroes because they found the fucking cure because of that as well, dude. The interesting point from Idolizer, no doubt. But Stevie, we made it through the headlines, man. A brutal TK day of just more missed opportunities. The big show thing is the biggest botch, in my opinion, dude. You could have had him out. You could have saved this, what's going to be a dog shit Shaq segment. And now everybody's thinking about Shaq and fucking Big Show. And now the surprise is ruined when you do it. And it'll just look amateur as shit at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, it's already left the barn. You can't redo the debut now.
Well, nope. Everything.
That's what it is.
More misses. And maybe you guys will see that tweet one day and it'll just be, hey, TK, we need a meeting. Hit me up. I don't know. I just can't pull the trigger on that myself yet until the next thing that I can't stand really pisses me off, because I do have to watch AEW right after this to come back and do Light the Fuse with DMSG and Chris Silvio. 1 p.m. We'll be going live with that because we got to hop off for a meeting at 3. So keep it locked here, youtube.com/MROVW for all of the wrestling madness. I'm sure Silvio will be trying to get me fired up over Tony Khan again. So there'll be plenty of other rants to bury myself later today. Stevie, hopefully you're getting some rest, doing some yoga, using the cup suction, using the guns, everything we got here to make sure that your body's healthy, wealthy, and wise. What do you got going down, bro?
Let me see if I can get this read right here, because obviously it has helped out a lot. It has helped out a lot. I got this new chair here from X Chair, because the gaming chair I had was good, but especially with compression fractures or past compression fractures in my back, it just sitting for long periods of time really do hurt it. And it's great to be able to podcast, video edit, do things of content creation. I even tried to do like the standing desk version, but for podcasting and video editing at some points, it kind of just uses up a little too much energy. So and especially after doing a week of stunts on that TV show, my back was killing me. So, after sitting for long periods and having to do that and mixing with the stunts and coming back here, this X chair is really awesome, especially the lower back part has that DVL. Yes, I'm reading from the script, but that's okay. I mean what I say. I'm just sticking within. I got to stay within the lines. Color within the lines, but I mean what I say. Even though there's a certain copy, the DVL, the dynamic variable lumbar support, it really does adjust to every movement my body makes, and with my lower back, it just does a really good job. The cool part about this, because usually right after I do the podcast, I'll lay on a heating pad and it's got some kind of massage on it. Mm-hmm. This is the HMT version. So the X HMT, this has heat and massage with 4 different modes on it. So it's really cool. So now that I botched the library, let's finish it off. Buy an X chair and use the code StevieX to receive, see, I already screwed it up again, receive free X wheels of $49.99 value. I have them on this X chair. It's on rug, and it still allows me to glide on any floor surface.
I think those
they should be really happy with that one.
I think those wheels are worth $100, not even.
I thought they were worth $100 too, but apparently they're worth $50.
And if you want to get
buy 2 sets and then you get $100. No, you only get 1 pair. They, working on 2.
If you guys are going to want some extra as well, Brosters hit me up. The Brosters saying we're going to have all through March, anybody who buys the Vince Russo Bro coffee, which is usually 12 ounces, they're going to kick that up to 16 for free and make it a full pound, because you guys had such a great response, and now they know you're hooked on it. Now they want to give a little extra product and say thank you. So all through March, thebrosters.com, Vince Russo Bro coffee, getting another third for free, 25% for free from them. Zordos Olive Oil, Triple D doing great things for us always, man, with a lot of my clients locally. So definitely check him out there. All of our affiliate shows, New Force Order, Suck My Balls podcast, Rat Salad Review, War on Morons. Appreciate all hands on deck from Hamin Media Group this week. It's just been unbelievable effort, though, not just the last week, the last 2 months to get these brands launched. If you go to patreon.com/The A Show, both episodes up there for free with April Hunter and Damian Sandow, Idle Stevens, Aaron Haddad, whatever name he's going by this week, and Stevie Ray TV with MSG dropping great stuff all the time as well. I know Man Beast is going out there right now to record with Rip Rogers, and they're going to do a live watch along with Serena's match from AEW. So I think that's going to be another awesome episode, man. But this was a great locker room. Coming up on 2 hours, and the heat is still pouring out of us. So, it's all about emotion, and that we are still in the bubble in some way. But Stevie, it's good to see you, man. And I'm glad you're feeling better, bud.
It's good to be seen. Once again, go there to X Chair's website, enter the code StevieX for what we believe to be $100 wheels, but they're $50 wheels. Also, forceusa.com/Stevie, diamondbackfitness.com/Stevie, and of course, StevieRichardsFitness.com. And then I'll be putting something up on your Patreon regarding the marketing stuff, and maybe help people avoid some of the pitfalls and the pains that you can go through when you're running your own brand.
There's a lot of them, man, and it's always ever changing. And I've been doing a lot of that too with Marcus Aurelius and The Art of War, looking at things as a general, looking at things from an emperor standpoint, and trying to pick best strategies. So we're putting all that stuff out there. You guys are, if you're interested in being your own small business owner and helping that grow, that's what Hamin Media Group's here for. We've got the community, we've got everybody plugged in, and you guys have been doing awesome with interacting, whether it's the new investment group that we have going on as well, or just Hamin Media discussion group, Russo brand subscribers. We appreciate you guys keeping it locked here, and we're at 50 strong streaming. Could be a new Friday locker room record, you guys. So everybody just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't let them beat you down, and keep your head held high during all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's Hacker Hamin. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's the Friday locker room here at Hamin Media Group, hackerhamin.podbean.com, infidels. YOLO.